Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Vegas Showbiz and welcome to the 2023 Tacos and Tamales Festival in West Las Vegas at Desert Breeze Park. It's Saturday, April 29th. I'm here with family and friends. We're excited to get some good food from the food trucks, go on all the rides. I already got my kids' wristbands, and check out the live entertainment. If you're enjoying our content, please help us out by liking this video and more importantly, subscribing to the YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Let's go!
Oh yeah, there's the wrestling stage. There's the wrestling stage too.
Oh
huh?
yeah, that's really cool.
What's the luchadors?
I'm very hungry, Dad. Bob, I mean, have you seen a crazy car with that's all green and blue?
I haven't.
Dang.
Is it cool?
It's no.
No, it's not cool.
No, it's our uncle's.
Oh, it's creepy.
It's supposed to be a Seahawks car.
Is he here?
Very
Did he drive it?
Oh yeah.
No, there's a lot of people here because the parking is pretty crazy.
He said they're under the vegan cooking tent.
There's a cooking demonstration.
Oh yeah, right over here. That's probably it.
See a fan. Yeah,
Vegan Mexican street food, what?
It was $8.
I just barely know it.
Alcohol tasting thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are Black Wing Funeral, and we like it out here, man. It's fresh, it's nice. Y'all look fucking beautiful today. Here we go. All right.
Hey everyone, I'm back. It is now the morning after the Tacos and Tamales Festival, and I'm here to bring you a full review, including the cost that I paid to take my 3 kids to the festival. We'll talk about the good and the not so good, then we'll finish things up by getting into the costs that I paid. I do want to start off by apologizing for some of the footage that I got yesterday during the festival. I had plans on getting a lot more of the entertainment, more of the actual food options that were available, but I was having some technical difficulties. It was just one of those days. My camera was overheating because of the extreme heat that we had yesterday. My gimbal was acting up. It just wasn't going my way. Hopefully I can make up for that by providing you this review, and that'll add some value to the video for you. That's my goal for sure. So let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about the good. A lot of food options. I mean, there are quite a few different food tents available to you. Most of those are going to be Mexican or Latino inspired cuisine, but not all of them. One of my daughters ended up going with chicken fingers and fries. So, you don't have to get that type of stuff if you don't want Mexican or Latino food, but there's certainly a lot of options if you do. There's going to be a lot of savory food options, tacos, tamales, obviously as the name implies, but all kinds of other Mexican food as well. But then there's also sweets. If you're looking for treats, you're going to have plenty of those options. Yummy drinks. We got a nice fresh strawberry lemonade. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff like that to choose from. Also, if you're somebody who enjoys plant-based or vegan cuisine, there are some great options for you. There's an entire section devoted to plant-based foods. There's even a vegan culinary tent where people are doing demonstrations of how to cook vegan food. They're handing out samples of all that stuff. So definitely a lot for the plant-based community to enjoy at the festival. I definitely enjoyed checking that out with my friends and family. There is entertainment. You got a little bit of that on the video, but I wasn't able to get the wrestling. There's like a Mexican wrestling show that goes on at different points throughout the day. And then there's also the stage. You saw one of the bands performing there, and they had different bands going on throughout the day. For kids, there's the whole ride section. You saw some of that on the video. You got the carnival games, you got the rides. It's, nothing fantastic as far as the rides go. I mean, it's pretty like standard carnival style, but the kids had fun. So, there's definitely stuff like that for someone of all ages to enjoy. Overall, pretty crowded, but a lot of people enjoying the food and the music and the rides and stuff. So it definitely had that fun kind of carnival atmosphere, and it's a good time of year. It was a little on the hotter side than we've been used to. It was up in the 90s yesterday, so it's been pretty warm, but a nice day to be out there. So everybody enjoyed that aspect. As far as the not so good, where do I start? Let's see. I'm going to start with the carnival. The carnival was fun for the kids, but I guess this kind of blends into the cost aspect because I was under the impression that it was going to be $20 per kid to get a wristband for unlimited rides, and that turned out to not be true. It was double that. It was $40 per kid, and I've got 3, so that's $120 just to let them do rides. I do have to credit my mom because we were there for about 3 hours during the day, and it was sort of questionable whether they got their money's worth on the carnival rides. But she ended up taking them back because they had their wristbands that were good for the entire day. It's open from 10 to 10, so a full 12 hours. And they got to do more rides on Saturday night. And so I definitely feel better about the value that we got from the carnival. But, it's kind of rinky-dink in terms of the ride selection, and games don't apply to the wristbands. So kind of expensive for the carnival aspect of it. Let's see, as far as the food stuff goes, there was definitely some waiting going on, and as I mentioned, it was quite hot out. The only areas that were shaded were there were eating tents. I mentioned that culinary tent. There were also some tents where you could sit under to eat, and there had some picnic style tables with an umbrella to sit under. But when you're waiting in line at any place, I don't care which place you're going to, you're in direct sun the entire time. And you know, if you've got little kids with you like I did, I mean, it's only a matter of minutes before they start complaining about the heat and all the direct sunlight that they're getting. I saw some people that had huge sun hats on, some people had umbrellas. They were a little more prepared than I was, frankly. I just didn't expect it to be that much direct sun, and pretty important to stay hydrated out there. As far as waiting goes, you know, the first tent that we went to, we basically went to 2 food tents. I went to the first one for 2 of my kids. We got the chicken fingers for one of my daughters, and we got shrimp quesadilla for my son. You know, we're waiting in line for about 10 minutes, and that felt totally reasonable, especially since they gave you your food right there. I mean, you waited, you paid, you got your food, and you moved on. So that was fine. But then my oldest daughter and I were more interested in checking out some of the vegan Mexican food, and we specifically selected a place called Las Vegans. They had a tent that looked really good. I mean, the menu looked amazing. I immediately selected some tacos for her and a crunch wrap for myself. And this was definitely like the worst part of my experience. The food was good. I'll start right away. Las Vegans food was good. It just took so long to get it. I mean, I waited in line for probably only 5 minutes to get to the very front of the line. I was the first person in line and then stood there for a solid 10 minutes waiting to place an order. And I can understand what it's like to be busy at a restaurant. I spent my entire 20s working in restaurants, and I know that just crazy stress and that hectic feeling. I still have dreams about that sometime, and it's been many years. But they were slammed. They definitely needed more help. We waited 10 minutes at the front of the line just to place an order. They took my phone number to text me when the food was ready, and I know they got it right because I immediately got a text saying that my order had been received. And now the real wait comes in, and it wasn't just me. There were a lot of people standing there waiting forever, and the employees are just scattered. The poor young woman working at the front was having to apologize to everybody, telling her, I'm so sorry, and I sympathize with her, but at the same time, I'm standing out here in like extreme heat, just melting in the sun. You know, first it's 10 minutes, then it's 15 minutes, now it's 20 minutes, and everybody's looking at each other like, what is going on? Finally, at 25 minutes, I stuck my head in the window. I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, do you have my food? Like, what is going on? I tell them my name, and they're like, oh, yeah, we've had your food here for a while. Didn't you get our text? And I'm like, nothing saying my food was ready. No, I didn't. And they're like, oh, sorry about that. You should have gotten a text from us. So I was pretty frustrated. I hadn't eaten all day. I was definitely at hangry status at this point. I brought the food over to my mom and my daughter to start eating. I opened everything up, and I realized that they shorted me 2 tacos. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I just waited 25 minutes, and now I'm missing food. So I got to march back over there again, and this time I'm not even waiting for anything. I just stuck my head in the window again, and I'm like, look, I paid for this, this, and this. I only got this. You guys need to fix this. And to their credit, you know, they ended up giving me like an extra taco. You know, that was another 5 minutes. So by the time I sat down and ate my food, it was 45 minutes from when I first got in line to place that order. And there was just no way that I would have done that had I known it was going to be such a long time. Again, the direct sun, I was pretty bitter by the time I ate. Now the food was really good. I'm not going to complain at all. And I don't like to ever put down like a local business or anything like that. I would very much enjoy going to like a physical brick and mortar restaurant if they had one. Their food was delicious. But my experience in waiting so long in that sun was pretty bad, and I feel like I just had to call that out. So that was probably the worst of it. As far as prices go, let's get into that for a moment. I already alluded to the cost, so it was $120 to get my kids wristbands, and obviously that's totally avoidable to you depending on your situation, but I had promised my kids, they had been here the year before and they wanted to go on rides, and I was under the impression it was $20 per kid, but turned out to be 40, so that was expensive. I was also under the impression that my admission was going to be $5. Apparently that's only if you purchase online ahead of time. If you're paying at the door, at the gate, it was $11 and change, probably because they're tacking on a credit card fee. I was gonna pay cash, but they don't allow cash. You have to pay credit card at the gate, and yet inside there are plenty of places where you have to pay cash. So you kind of have to be like prepared with both options of payment. So before we even start looking at food, I'm at $131, and that doesn't even, there was no admission for my kids. I mean, anybody under 12 or over, I believe 60, was free. So my mom was free to get in, my kids were all free to get in, and again, like 11 and change for me. So the kids wanted to do rides. We did those right away, but pretty quickly everybody was getting hungry, so we start looking at food options. The food's pretty spendy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I spent 80 bucks, and I'm sorry, a little over 70 bucks on getting my 3 kids and I each just a meal, and we got 1 strawberry lemonade to share. So, you know, certainly would have been a lot cheaper for me to take them to a restaurant and sit in some air conditioning. But I was looking at a $200 bill to get in there to feed everybody and get my kids the rides. I was, you know, at first a little bit annoyed with that. It was just more than I was expecting. But knowing that they were able to go back and get more time on the rides later in the evening definitely made me feel better about the overall cost. I'll leave it up to you whether it was worth it or not. I mean, ultimately, you're getting entertainment for that. There are multiple wrestling shows going on throughout the day. You've got multiple bands playing. You know, there's a lot of food options. But the food's pretty spendy. I mean, I think the cheapest thing I got was, you know, like the chicken fingers, 15 bucks for that. Shrimp quesadilla and a strawberry lemonade, 26 bucks for that. And that's the lemonade that all 4 of us shared. You know, then I've got, the tacos were a little bit cheaper. I think we paid about, I think they were $3.33 per taco. And I got 3 of those for my daughter. My food, my Crunch Wrap was around 12 or 13 bucks, something like that. So, you know, altogether, it was a $200 afternoon. I guess if you're out, you know, with your family and you're trying to do something fun, you're gonna pay for it one way or another. But just if you're taking a family, you got to be prepared for it. I mean, I often think about like, how does everybody do this? Like, this is definitely more than I was expecting to spend, but it is what it is. Would I go back next year? I'm not totally sure. I would probably be a little bit more prepared. It's certainly not about saving the $6 on the admission. It's more about, do I want to wait in line and pay relatively top dollar for food truck food? Food was good. Don't have any complaints about the quality of the food, but do I want to pay that amount next time? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Apparently there is another Tacos and Tamales or something very similar that goes on in downtown Vegas. That one's supposed to be a little bit bigger. Maybe they've got things a little bit more well-staffed. Not totally sure. But overall, that was my experience. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did you go? Do you think it was a fair price? Did I get ripped off? You know, I can handle it either way. But I hope you got value out of this video. And if you did, please help me out by subscribing to the channel. Look forward to seeing you in a future video. And thanks for checking this one out. All right, bye-bye.